All right, hey guys, Sam back with you here. It's Monday, December 3rd, early afternoon. So by request here amongst the membership, we've got a request for Stellar Lumen to Bitcoin. So I've got XLM to Bitcoin here. This is the 4-hour. Nice to look at a cryptocurrency that's not in a relentless downtrend, although we're kind of stuck in a range here. Now we looked at this several times recently, so whether, however you want to slice it here, whether you want to call this the upper and down here. So here's our range we've been stuck in for quite some time. Well, yeah, we got lower, so you probably do it. It's in multiple levels here. So we're sitting essentially. Are we sitting smack dab in the middle? Here, I can use wolf range here. So if I look here, oh, that'll work. So here's the 50, potentially. So it's a little unclear as to whether we've got a 2 in here. But if we just look at that, we're sitting pretty close to smack dab in the middle of it. So it's just been range bound. Now, here's where some Elliott can be helpful if indeed we've got, as I'm counting it here, it does look to me like we've got a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So in green here, this would be 1. This is the ABC. Here's the 2. Big 3 is way up here, still yet to come. And a series of 1, 2. So we got to break out of this range, obviously, if we're going to see that realized. Right now, Bitcoin's going to stay weak. That might help this trade as we're spread here to Bitcoin. So I'm going to take this set of median lines off here. I do think that that's framing the market relatively nicely. So looking here, I was just using that to sort of frame out where we could be going. So if that count is correct, and we've got you can make a case for it. So here, if this is the ABC, and then we come in and it's 1, 2. Well, we need an impulse here. Well, we just haven't gotten it yet. So it looks like 1, 2. And you might have thought 1, 2, oh, maybe that's the 3, but we don't make 100% the length of this 1 here. So less likely, additionally, we get a diagonal. So most likely we've got 1, 2, and then a leading diagonal here as the 1 wave of the 3rd wave of this wave here in blue. So it would be 1, 2 is in. This is the 1 of the 3rd, so it's likely to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that would give us the impulse that we need here. So again, you got to put them somewhere. So I'll put them up here and try to line them up for a roadmap. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 looks like it could be underway. Now we don't get a pretty corrective wave here. So this is a little bit open to some interpretation. So let's pull some of this off here just to clean that up here. Take this off here, and this is where it's a little difficult. So let's go down to the 1 hour here. So what's this mess here? Well, this certainly at this moment in time is looking more corrective than impulsive here, or even some sort of a diagonal. This just looks like a bunch of chops. So here, let's pull that off here and get a better look at it. So anytime you get a bar like this, it becomes problematic. Like how do we count that? Is that anything that's complete? I try and stay 60-minute and above unless I'm absolutely forced to go dig into that. That's just a straight rip down. But maybe you make the case here that this is the 1, and then we get a little ABC here for the 2. It's double by, it ain't pretty. So even this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe you got to allow for a truncated 5th. So this is why I'm a little suspect here of this 2 being done yet. It's hard to call that an A. So I hate to do this, but even if I go down here, it's just straight down, right? So it happens so fast. So 1 ABC into the 2, and then you think right, A, B, C. Well, this is clearly, this was something corrective. It was correcting something. Right? So if we look here, and so all you can do here is say, well, okay, what happened there? What's that about? Right? We don't, as to why it did that. The point is, we go up, we tag the 50, we come down. So somebody wanted a fill there, would be my guess, right? Someone wanted a fill there. They take it up, grab the 50, rip. Already both first and second targets hit. So what is that? Is that 1, 2? If this is 1, 2, is that 1, 2 or A, B? Hard to know, right? So what do you do with that? Well, you can call this all just bottoming range down here. You gotta, sometimes you just gotta go with truncated fifth, ABC. It's hard to make a stand there. So it's a little tenuous as to what exactly we have there because of the lack of clarity. And here I'm all the way down to a 15-minute. So, I mean, you can kind of try and target it and say, well, if that is 1, 2, is there any fib swing confluence down here? If that's 1 and that's 2, it's not ideal. It's long enough, so maybe that's the 3. So where's the 4? Is this the 4 and we're done with the A wave? So do we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? So you'd have to think of it as being done here with a truncated fifth. Anytime you're going outside of the norms, then you got to pause a little bit and go, am I force fitting here just because that's what I want to see? Well, you do get 5 there, and truncated fifths, it's not like we never see them. You would hope to have more clarity than that, but we just don't get it. Market doesn't always cooperate with what we'd like to see to make it easy for us. In fact, anything, it's going to do the opposite, particularly here in crypto. It's been very difficult. So this one here, if I had to, looks to me like that's ABC still going in. So let's get this properly identified here. We'll go up a degree. Oh, micro will work. Okay, so if that's A, that A is in, and we've got AB, then we're still looking for more down here. So here's that 50, that larger 50. It's going to be shallow for a B, so yet again, a little more irregularity. So you got to ponder that and think of my force fitting here to accommodate what I want to see. Well, this, best case, here again, I'm down at a 15-minute. Best case, you squeeze a diagonal and you've got to allow for, can you even get a diagonal there? I'm not even sure you can. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to get a 5 out of that? Well, maybe you get a, boy, you'd want to see a leading diagonal there. Maybe you could squeeze it out of that. Boy, you got to, just real quickly, just out of curiosity, is it technical? Well, here's the 50, so maybe you got 1, 2, ABC into a 3, 4. ABC, it ain't gorgeous, but it's possible. So maybe, but it doesn't really fit either in terms of the longer degree. So I think you're more likely, it seems like a more conservative play here to anticipate that there's more down here. More down to come yet to finish that. So so already we got a little bit of a problem here in the A wave, and that we're allowing for a truncated fifth. Now we're this slop at a shallow B. You'd hope for more clarity than that. If you're really teeing up to go into something here with any size, you like the project, it's one of the stronger. Well, this is one. Well, so here's the other possibility here, that this is just going to go deeper here. So we might have, let's pull that off here. And how can we get this to resolve and just be cleaner? So sometimes it's just the market hasn't given you enough information. So very real possibility, what do I want here? That if this is A, then we could just be putting the A, B, C of that in before we go down here and get a better looking correction off of this. Well, then you think, okay, well, wait a minute here, I'll pull this off of there. So if that's a 1 and we're going to get more complexity in the 2, well, where could we be going? Well, if that's correctly identified, get on there as a 1, well, we've already broken the 65 now. So can we finish down here? 1A. That looks better to me as an A. So if this is the A that's going in, the B may be going in here as well, and then we're going up for this to get something more with more structure to it. If we had an A, B, and then came down here for a C, that would play a little bit better. Now we're going deep for the 2, and we don't know what that looks like here, but so you get this range here. Again, don't know that we pivot here. And this may take off, but right now, if forced to anticipate where the next opportunity is, I think it's too soon to be a buyer here because the lack of clarity here. So you'd be playing on the assumption that I got a truncated fifth in the A, I've got an extremely shallow B, and then I'm going to have some sort of a, Much as I love this project, I would not be a buyer here myself. Now down here, I like that better. I think this solid 5, right, here's the overlap of the 1, looks quite strong here. So what's the alternate, right? So we see a diagonal and you go, well, shit, am I completely wrong here? And that this is a C wave, an ending diagonal of the entire thing? I think, well, right, so always a question of, you know, would you bet on that? Well, as I look at it here, so could this just be an ABC that's finishing here? Well, that looks... So how would that fit in terms? So first question is, you got to make some assumptions here. If that's 1, this is a clean 5. Now this is a long, and it's, you know, it works. There's an AB and there's a C. So it's, let me finish that there. You got to double click that thing. Wish you didn't have to do that. Trading View, just in the wish list, along with moving the whole sequence of Elliott counts. Okay, so ABC into a 2. Now, of course, so look here. This is deep as well. So if this is correctly identified as the 1, we break the 6-5. We don't quite make the 7-8-6. So maybe you've got a flat here, right? So you've got 3-3-5 for our 2. This, you'd really like to see this start to get some traction out of here. So if it's going to come down here, we need to get a big push out of here. And that is certainly setting up as a contender here. But this, you'd certainly like to see this hold. Now, it's kind of interesting here that we came down, tagged the 6-1-8. Interesting. Coincidental? Could be. Could be. Probably not. I tell you, there's very few coincidences in the market. So 1 ABC into a 2, 1 2. 1 2. I think that's the safer way to trade it. But I'm reluctant to advise you to buy down here until we see more clarity here in this correction. It just does not look good enough. There's too many. You're accommodating too much there to try and find an entry point. Now that could be this is the little baby 1 2 going in, and this is going to fire off. It's certainly possible here. If that's the case, well, this count is just getting started, so there'll be plenty of opportunity to buy along the way. So why try and squeeze something out in here just because you're, you know, well, maybe kind of could be. All right, does that sound like a disciplined approach to trading? You know, I like to give you trades, but there's just not one here just yet. I don't want to short it, so I would not be looking to play the B into the C. I'm much prefer to be on the buy side here, looking for that 3. So ideally, now we get a little ABC. It comes down here. We correct. We come into this range. You note we've got a little low volume node down here that might be of interest, right? So that would put us deep for this 2 wave, but it sets it up rather nicely to now come out of here. So we're well into 2019 there, of course. Maybe some market geometry here we could consider. So where do you go here? Is it? Well, that's already realized here. So is that an actual double bottom? It's a triple bottom, is it? Yeah, it really is. So, well, I'd probably look at both. So that's already realized with the truncation. So let's go to original. Right, we're probably the timeline doesn't work there. That we're going to get here, so that would put us January 19th getting up here. It's possible. I wouldn't discount it, but I would also consider that I might have something here. So if I work from this low before we start, if this is the 1 and this is my 2, that's where we started. But let's look at original. I went too far, so we go modified shift, which will be a channel. So if we're going channel here, so that looks like it's a contender here. So if this comes down here, if we get outside of this, I don't want to see it break this running parallel here. So if that's 1 2, right, this all kind of fits up with that low volume node that we're looking at here. So we've got potentially an algo play. I know that gets hard to see, so. Let's get some. So potentially you've got this coming in. If we go A, B, and we come down for the C, then you go for the 3, the 4, and the 5. Then you'll know what you've got. Then you've got your 3 here, but not this 3. That 3 has to be way over here. So all potentially teed up. So there's your 3, maybe the 4. We don't know. 4, 5, back to the other side. That would give you the 3, right? So now we've got a nice bull trend underway. Right? not ready to declare that that's underway, but the potential is there for that. Now, wouldn't be really sad if this held a little bit lower here, but right now I think just too soon to be a buyer. Just it's not there yet, much as I wish it were. I just don't think it's there yet. Now this, give me 3 here. Yeah, I think that's very, very buyable, and that could be a significant turn for us. We got to get out. So here's the key level. We got to get out of this range. So this pivot here becomes incredibly important. We got to get through and get on the other side of that. So one of these algo targets needs to get hit on the larger degree. Otherwise, we just stay in this range. So look, this is a pretty classic example of it. Look at 1 standard deviation of the volume profile. So where's all the trading? Right, as we stay in a range, not uncommon. So here's very good market acceptance. We need to blow either out one edge or the other, right? So here was that low volume node. If this 2 is going to come in here, right, it wouldn't be unusual for us to come down to the edge of that and get a reaction there, but we got to get up through, and then we got to see more market acceptance here. So you might be looking for another, let's see if I did it this way, something like this to, don't want that. Let's see, can I do it? Well, let's just do it this way. We'd want to see some sort of market acceptance come in up here, so you get another range. It's making me, it wants me to trade. Oh, I know why. So, okay, so here, if this is market acceptance, we break out of this, we want to get up here and see more trade acceptance up here, get established here. So you get another base from which to launch for the next. So if we come 4, we've got another base to launch from up here. All right, so I like it, like the project. Would love to tell you it's time to buy, but I don't see it yet. If I wouldn't be a buyer down there, I certainly wouldn't advise you to. All right, again, not that you have to do what I do. I don't think it's there. I just don't think we're ripe yet, but we're getting closer. All right, guys, there's it'll probably be a wrap for the day. So I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be looking at likely traditional assets tomorrow here. And we'll be posting some educational content for any crypto traders that are frustrated by we're now going into our 12-month bear market, or looking to diversify here. So we've got a lot of people asking about Forex and how to make that switch. So doing some educational content there, just how to get started, some good resources. Right? Again, as I've said many times, if you can trade crypto, you're going to find Forex to be a breeze. Okay, guys, that's it for now. See you later.